In early 2023, the United States announced it would send 31 M1A1 Abrams tanks to Ukraine. The M1A1 SA variant, though not the newest, was the one that got here the fastest. Still, it was crazy to think that these tanks would be rolling alongside the Ukrainian army. By September, the tanks had arrived in Ukraine, but the military command was waiting for the right moment to unleash them. February 2024 finally saw those tanks deployed for their first combat mission, rolling in to stabilize the situation around Avdiivka. We are back in the Avdiivka area, where the battles are taking place much further than Avdiivka and the Ukraine is losing ground. This is the American veteran, the M1A1 Abrams tank of the 47th Mechanized Brigade, with all the labels translated to Ukrainian. All of such tanks are currently deployed here in the east of Ukraine, and we've heard mixed reviews on their performance, their condition. There were even rumors that these tanks have been withdrawn from the battlefield. But thankfully, we have finally the opportunity to talk to the crews and find out what is really true and what's not. In movies, tankers brag about having the best job in the world. But I doubt they would agree with that after half a year of fighting near Avdiivka, where daily enemy attacks are your reality. For your understanding, 37 combat engagements were recorded on June 17 alone. And it shows. The tanks are covered with sand and mud, and the crew is exhausted. During this time, they have already lost their brothers in arms.
Most of our tasks were preventing the defense from being breached. We focused on stopping light vehicles from passing through and infantry from entering our positions. But most of the fighting was done at a distance. There were times when we shot at tree lines, literally 700 meters away, trying to dismantle them with our fire. There was one case where a Lancet drone came at us while we were standing still waiting for the order. The branches above us saved us. That's one I won't forget anytime soon. The tanks themselves held up well. Those first missions without extra protection were rough, and we took some losses. Things are a bit better now, though. We've managed to add some protection, and the tanks are performing as expected. We keep working. That's what we do.
This right here is Arad, the reactive armor for the Abrams tank, and as you can see, the soldiers install it on the turret of the tank by themselves, completely DIY, because the standard armor of the turret proved to be not enough for the modern battlefield. That's why the crews, they installed American reactive armor, and in some areas even the Ukrainian Kontakt-1 reactive armor on the tank.
It is called reactive armor. If hit directly by ATGMs, UAVs, and Lancets, it can withstand anything. We designed, welded, and installed it ourselves.
But armor's not the only thing that needs refinement. Next to us, under the scorching sun, a team of repairmen works on an Abrams tank, swapping out its engine. This engine has a stunning 1500 horsepower. But at nearly 40 years old, it was not prepared for the challenges of the Donetsk region.
These tanks are old. There are problems with seals in various parts. When it sucks in all the dust, it damages engine parts, and the tank loses thrust and power. The only reason this is happening is because of age. Does their age affect your work in any way? It's a little inconvenient because spare parts are sent from abroad, and if you need to change something right now, it can be problematic. We change what we can, and if we can't, we have to wait for the parts. And it takes time.
Time is a decisive factor, and in this case it costs human lives. First, the Ukrainian army had to wait for the Abrams to arrive. Then the crews waited for the right armor, finally assembling it themselves. With this in mind, I asked, is there anything you're waiting for right now to stop the Russian assaults?
We need long-range missiles and fighter jets, aviation. They have a lot of aircraft, and they're terrorizing us with guided aerial bombs. I saw it myself. I was lying in a dugout when a Russian aircraft started circling overhead. It dropped a bomb just 70 meters away. 3 times it made approaches, firing at our tree line with bombs. Thankfully, we're still here. We lack aviation right now, and their Air Force is hurting us a lot. They're dropping guided bombs on our guys in the trenches, basically just smashing them. It's very difficult.